All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another deep dive. We love to get into the nitty-gritty, the stuff that's really driving the future of AI. And today, well, we're going deep on something that's absolutely vital.
Yeah, this is a big one.
And you might not even realize just how critical it is.
Yeah.
It's all about the immense, and I mean immense energy demands of these increasingly powerful AI systems.
We're talking massive amounts of electricity, way more than your average computer setup.
Oh, yeah. Way more. We're specifically looking into this newly rebranded group, the AI Infrastructure Partnership, or AIP.
AIP, yep. They're tackling a challenge that's only going to get bigger.
So here's our mission for this deep dive. We're going to figure out why this partnership, why the AIP is so important for you, for everyone to understand. We'll break down who the major players are, and then the really exciting part, we'll explore what kind of long-term impact this could have on, well, the whole world of AI.
I think the potential impact here is huge, no doubt. And we've got some fascinating stuff to work with here. Reports, analyses, you name it. We'll be getting into the members, their goals, and even some expert opinions on whether this is truly a turning point or, well, maybe just a lot of hype.
A little bit of healthy skepticism never hurts.
Never hurts. Now, one thing that immediately jumps out is the sheer scale of this thing. We're talking XAI, NVIDIA.
NVIDIA. The heavy hitters in AI computing hardware.
Exactly. And this is crucial. We've got big energy providers like GE Vernova and NextEra Energy.
Oh, yeah. They're not messing around.
Not at all. And of course, you've got the established giants like BlackRock and Microsoft. They're already part of this initiative.
It's a serious lineup. And I think, the fact that these big names are involved, it kind of hints at the scale we're talking about here.
No question.
And then you look at the numbers, right? Reportedly, $30 billion in committed capital, potentially reaching $100 billion through debt financing. That's not chump change.
That's a whole lot of zeros. And it really underscores just how big, how massive the energy demands of these AI systems are becoming.
It's mind-boggling. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's dive into the heart of the issue. AI's, this relentless thirst for power.
Relentless is a good word for it. I mean, we're talking about potential future AI data centers that could require as much electricity as a small city.
The whole city.
It's wild, right? These generative AI models, the ones that create stuff like text, images, music, they're incredibly complex. They require vast, and I mean vast amounts of computation.
Like the mental gymnastics these AIs are doing they're using up tons of juice, tons of energy.
That's a great way to put it. And, as these models evolve, as they become even more sophisticated, their energy consumption, well, it's not going down. It's only going to skyrocket.
That's a fundamental problem.
Absolutely fundamental. This is an infrastructure hurdle, a big one, that has to be solved, it has to be overcome if we want AI to keep advancing at this crazy pace.
And that brings us back to why GE Vernova and NextEra Energy, why those guys are so crucial in this whole AIP thing.
You got it.
It's not just, slapping together more server farms. It's about making sure those server farms can actually be powered reliably and ideally sustainably.
Right. You need the juice to run the machines, but you also need to make sure you're getting that juice responsibly.
Exactly. And that's where these energy giants come in. Their participation, it directly tackles that problem head on. I mean, GE Vernova, NextEra, they bring this wealth of knowledge. They know how to generate energy, distribute it, manage these complex energy grids. They're experts. Their
expertise is going to be absolutely vital in, actually coming up with energy solutions that are specifically designed for the unique demands of AI data centers.
The unique and, let's be honest, intense demands.
Intense is putting it mildly.
Okay, so now let's break down this partnership a bit.
All right, let's get into the weeds.
It's the AI Infrastructure Partnership, AIP. You mentioned that it used to be called JIP, right?
Yep, that's right.
It's described as like an industry-led effort focused on building the infrastructure for AI. Do you think there was a particular reason for the rebrand? Like, did it signal a shift in their focus or something?
It's definitely possible. Rebrands like that from GAP to AIP, they often indicate some kind of evolution. Maybe they're broadening their scope, setting new priorities. It's hard to say for sure without an official statement, but it's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, it's interesting. But what's really important to understand here is that the AIP, it's an industry-driven effort.
That's key.
It's distinct from, those government-backed initiatives, things like the Stargate project, which, that one's clearly aimed at keeping pace with China's AI development.
It's a whole AI arms race thing.
Exactly. The AIP, this is a separate beast altogether. It's driven by the needs and, importantly, the investments of the private sector.
The money's talking, and it's saying AI infrastructure is a priority.
Loud and clear. And speaking of key players, NVIDIA's role here, they're a technical advisor, right? Makes perfect sense given how dominant they are in that market for AI processing power.
They're the ones making the chips that are powering all these AI systems, so it's a natural fit.
Totally. So NVIDIA, they're going to be bringing their deep understanding of accelerated computing, how to actually architect these massive AI factories. They're helping design the next generation of AI data center infrastructure.
Think of it as building the foundation for the future of AI.
Exactly. And their know-how, it's going to be absolutely critical in making sure those future facilities are both high-performing and energy efficient.
You need both. You can't have one without the other.
You can't. And then we've got GE Vernova and NextEra. They've committed to working with the AIP to speed up the deployment of these different energy solutions that are tailored for these power-hungry AI systems.
They're the ones making sure the lights stay on, so to speak.
And keeping those servers humming. But you know what really stands out to me? It's the extent of GE Vernova's involvement. It's not just, plugging in a power cord.
It's so much more than that. It's really interesting.
They're going deep.
Yeah. Beyond just providing the energy itself, GE Vernova is going to be collaborating on supply chain planning. That's huge.
Yeah.
And they're developing innovative, highly efficient energy solutions. This is a much deeper, more integrated approach to solving this power challenge.
They're in it for the long haul. Okay, so we've got the players, we got the challenge. Now let's zoom out a bit. What are the experts saying about this whole AIP launch? Is it a big deal?
Well, there are definitely some differing opinions out there, which is always interesting.
Love a good debate.
Always makes things more interesting. So one perspective, you've got Scott Bickley from Infotech Research Group. He sees the involvement of a behemoth, a giant like BlackRock, as well as a really strong signal.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Right.
Why does BlackRock's participation matter so much to him? What's the significance there?
Bickley's take is that BlackRock, with their absolutely massive investment portfolio, they don't just jump on any passing trend. They do their homework. So their presence here in the AIP, it signals a serious long-term commitment to investing in the fundamental infrastructure that AI needs. And even without, specific investment figures being publicly announced yet, the sheer scale of BlackRock's assets, it suggests this is going to be a substantial initiative. It could genuinely reshape the AI infrastructure landscape, and not just for a year or two, but for years to come.
That makes sense. It's like BlackRock, they're not betting on fads, right? They're looking at the long game.
Exactly. Their involvement suggests that this isn't just some tech bubble concern, something that's going to fizzle out. This is about fundamental infrastructure and the implications for energy and technology they could play out over decades.
It's a big picture play.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the bullish take, right? But we're also hearing a more cautious perspective from some other folks, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some healthy skepticism out there, and it's important to consider those voices too.
Balance is key.
Always. So you've got Alvin Nguyen, a senior analyst over at Forrester. He's offering a more skeptical viewpoint. His main concern is whether this whole AIP announcement, whether it's primarily for show, for public relations.
Like a way for these companies to be seen as doing something about the problem without actually, committing to real action.
That's the question, isn't it? Is it substance or just good PR?
Is there real meat on the bones?
Exactly. Nguyen highlights that we don't have a lot of specifics yet. There are no firm investment commitments, dollar amounts attached to this. And so he's questioning whether this partnership will actually lead to meaningful changes on the ground. He's quoted as saying, "It's not clear what is real and what is fact. I don't think anything changes with this." It's a pretty blunt assessment.
He doesn't mince words.
He doesn't. And it does highlight the uncertainty that you often see around these big, industry collaborations, especially when they're just getting started.
Especially in the early stages, yeah. And the lack of those concrete investment figures, it does leave room for that kind of skepticism, for sure.
It's fair. We need to see more than just a handshake and a press release, to really be convinced.
Actions speak louder than words, as they say. But even with that caution, even with Nguyen's skepticism, the potential financial power behind the AIP, it's hard to ignore. We're talking BlackRock, $11.6 trillion in assets under management.
That's not just a lot of money. It's an astronomical amount. And it highlights the immense financial resources that this partnership, that the AIP could potentially tap into. And even Nguyen, even with his skepticism, he acknowledges that the involvement of these high-profile players, NVIDIA, XAI, and by extension, Elon Musk, it carries a lot of weight.
Yeah, Musk is he's a magnet for attention, no doubt.
He definitely is. And that attention often translates into investment. So it's not just about the existing assets of these member companies. It's also about the magnetic effect that leaders like NVIDIA and Musk have on the entire investment community.
They're influencers, in a way.
They are in the world of tech and finance. They can draw in more investors, more capital, and that could be huge for the AIP.
So even the skeptics are acknowledging the potential financial firepower here.
The potential is definitely there. It's a wait-and-see game now.
Okay, so looking ahead, what kind of broader implications might this, the formation of the AIP, what might it have? What are the experts thinking?
Well, Bickley, he makes a really interesting point. He points out that to truly unlock the potential of generative AI, it's going to require massive investment. And he's not talking about, a few billion here and there. He's talking generational level of investment.
Generational, wow.
Yeah, he compares it to the rollout of 5G networks.
Oh, that's an interesting parallel. What's the connection there?
So with 5G, remember, the infrastructure standards, they were established, everyone was excited, but the promised performance, the speeds, the coverage, and the return on investment, it didn't all materialize right away.
Things take time.
They do, especially with infrastructure this complex. And Bickley suggests that we might see a similar pattern with AI infrastructure. The initial investments, they'll lay the groundwork, that's essential, but the full benefits, the truly transformative applications of all this, they're going to take time.
It's a long game. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And it's a good reminder that these huge infrastructure projects, the outcomes, they can change a lot over time.
It's a dynamic process.
Absolutely. Now, despite those initial uncertainties, despite the scale of the challenge, Bickley, he actually remains pretty optimistic about the long-term trajectory of all this. He believes that initiatives like the AIP, they're ultimately going to drive power infrastructure development. They're going to push for greater efficiency, more innovation in energy consumption, and eventually he thinks it could even lead to the commoditization of these core AI capabilities.
So even though it's a huge undertaking, the end goal, at least according to Bickley, is a more robust and efficient AI ecosystem.
That's the optimistic view. And it's worth considering. I mean, the AIP, it represents a significant effort, a really significant effort to address a critical bottleneck in the development of AI, and it's being led by the industry itself. Now, whether they achieve all their ambitious goals, well, that remains to be seen. But the caliber of the companies involved, it definitely signals that this is a problem they're taking seriously.
They're putting their money where their mouth is, potentially.
Potentially. Big time. And I think it really drives home the point that, the future of AI, it's not just about algorithms, it's not just about software. It's tied in. It's deeply intertwined with our physical infrastructure and especially our energy system.
We need the power to fuel the progress.
We do. The two are becoming more and more inseparable.
All right, so let's recap everything for our listeners. The AI Key, it's this new consortium, and they're focused, laser-focused on tackling the power demands of AI. They're bringing together big players from tech, from energy, and they've got, well, potentially massive financial resources.
A lot of potential.
Now, the experts, they're a little divided on the immediate impact and how committed these companies really are, but everyone seems to agree that this whole initiative, it highlights a fundamental obstacle that we need to overcome if we want AI to keep growing.
It's a challenge, no doubt about it, but it's one that needs to be addressed.
Absolutely. And on that note, here's something for you all to think about. Given this huge, and we've said it a bunch, but the huge energy appetite of AI, and now with these groups like the AIP forming to try and manage it, what other infrastructure challenges do you think might pop up as AI continues to grow, as it becomes more and more powerful? And think beyond just electricity. What other things, maybe less obvious, but equally vital, what other things will need to be addressed to really support, widespread AI adoption across society? It's a fascinating question, and I don't think there are any easy answers. Anyway, thanks for joining us on another deep dive. We'll catch you next time.